What's up, people of the internet? Paper Bag Man here. I haven't done this in a while, but I felt the urge. I saw this little movie called The Marvels. You might have heard of it. I thought I'll talk about it. Actually, there might be a chance, to be frank, that you haven't heard of it, because the reviews have been in the toilets. And people don't like it. The critics have really been bashing it, so... you might be expecting that I'm just going to come in here and bash it along with everyone else. And you know what? I am not against a good bashing. But I gotta be honest here and say, I kinda enjoyed this one. Yeah, I didn't hate it as much as everyone else did. And look, you guys know me. I'm not against just freaking slamming on a piece of shit movie. But I had fun with it. I had fun with this movie. It wasn't horrible. But let's go through it. The direction. This movie is directed by Nia DaCosta. I have not seen any of her other movies. She seems very nice when you see in her interviews. She seems very nice. She seemed like she wanted to make a good movie. A lot of things that she's been doing, she's been getting a lot of rounds in the press. How she said this is a Kevin Feige production. Like she went to do her own film while this movie was still in post-production. Whatever the case, she seems lovely. She seems very nice. And the movie seems pretty well directed. And I'm kind of in the camp that most Marvel movies look like garbage. Utter and complete garbage. I mean, just look at Thor: Love and Thunder. What a shit show. But this movie is really cool. It's a lot of fun. Like, specifically with the body swapping gimmick. There's a lot of very well done action scenes utilizing that gimmick. And, it looks good. What can I say? I almost didn't want to give it a point here because the big CGI set pieces were a little muddled, but overall the hand-to-hand in-camera fight sequences look good, and that's what I care more about than the big CGI explosions. And honestly, there's not even a lot of that, so I'm happy with how the movie looks. In terms of the direction, what I'm not super happy with is the CGI. This is a Marvel movie, as much as I would like to praise it, I do have to remember this is still a Marvel movie, so a lot of shitty CGI in this film. Kind of just a staple for these movies at this point, but with the amount of reshoots they go through, with the amount of post-production work that is needed and how many movies are being made at the same time, yeah, the CGI is always consistently very rough. Very, very, very rough. It's a problem I wish they could fix. But yeah, it really always brings down their films. And I wish I could be like one of those people who'd be like, bad CGI doesn't bother me, it doesn't take me out of the movie. It does. And it's a shame, but it's true, it sucks. The biggest problem with this movie is Captain Marvel herself. Throughout every movie Captain Marvel has been in, they have not been able to figure out what her character is. Is she a stone cold, hard-ass soldier? No. She smiles, she's lighthearted, she makes goofy jokes. So is she all around that perfect human being that Captain America is? No, because she has a lot of inner turmoil, a lot of conflict, and she's not really perfect. She makes a lot of mistakes. And so it's you keep kind of going this runabout, and it's I don't know who she is. I really don't. I know nothing about her. I don't know what kind of person she is at all. From any given moment in any scene, she's completely changed in terms of mood, in terms of arc. The only thing we know about her is that we know nothing about her, because she doesn't even fucking remember her own backstory. There's a whole Captain Marvel movie that happened in between this one and the first one, which is really weird. It's odd. The villain, B grade Ronan the Accuser, and Ronan the Accuser is already a B grade of any other Marvel villain. She's nothing special. She's actually very forgettable. They do the thing, which is really fucking annoying at this point, where they do is the villain has really good motivation, where it makes it very understandable why she's mad at the protagonists. But then they also have her do generic evil stuff, so you don't remember, so you forget, and you're oh yeah, she's still the bad guy. We still need to punch her. It's just so stupid at this point. It worked with Killmonger. it hasn't worked since. I really wish they would stop this model of villains, because it's just so lame. It is so lame. I love a good generic evil bad guy. You know, if they could just get back to that, that would be much better. I love the High Evolutionary, talk about pure evil. They should have just done that again, frankly. Another problem with this movie is just, frankly, they don't have like an idea of who the main character is. There's basically 3 main characters from this movie, and each of them have their own separate backstory. So if you want to just like watch this movie, you would have to watch Captain Marvel, WandaVision, and Miss Marvel in order to fully get an encapsulation of all 3 of these characters. And it's just off, and it's like, what is it? It leaves the movie feeling unbalanced and kind of weird. Of course, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has always been built on the idea that you need to watch every movie in order to get what's going on in the universe. That's kind of their bread and butter. It's what made them a lot of money early on, because during the Infinity Saga, obviously, you have to watch every single movie in order to get what's going to go happen in Infinity War. But those are movies. I think it's not a big deal to ask someone to watch a movie, watch a bunch of movies in order to watch another movie. That's fine. That's been around since the beginning of time. But in order, like, now the movies ask us to also watch these TV shows that often span over 6 hours length in terms of the full season. TV shows that no one really loves except for a couple. And so you're just kind of left wondering, it's like, why would I want to watch this? Why are you putting me through all of this homework just to watch this movie? And that's why the box office isn't that good. Regardless, Captain Rambeau is a good character. She's a bit stagnant in terms of where she is as a person. She is kind of like, is at the same temperament the entire movie, but she's good, and I liked her in WandaVision as well. The actress is very good. The standout is Miss Marvel. She was great in her own series, but most people didn't watch her own series. So for a lot of people, this is their first time watching her, and she's great. I actually do, with what I said before, I do appreciate that they don't just ignore her TV show. I like that they incorporate a lot of elements from her TV show, that her family is a pivotal role, that her daydream about Captain Marvel is very prevalent in the story. She's ultimately kind of the odd ones out, because the other 2 characters are already connected from their backstory. And so she's kind of the newcomer, and she kind of adds like a good, fresh energy to the rest of the cast. She's a delight. I hope she gets to be in more movies as Captain Marvel and as in other characters. She's great. Genuinely, she is no complaints there. This body swapping gimmick is original. What I'm going to say is it's inconsistent, and people have already pointed this out. I don't envy the screenwriters. I also don't know why they would put themselves in this position. But this rule of every time they use their powers, they always switch places, is crazy. And it means that, that there's going to be a lot of times where they have to break the rules, where they're using their powers, and then, for some reason, I guess, they don't switch places. And yes, I know that part of the rule is that they both have to be using their powers, but even then, there are definitely times where 2 characters are using their powers at the same time and they don't have to switch places. And also, it's not a matter of how much power they're using. It's just a matter of using any power. And so everything goes out the window. It's complete, like it's a complete farce at this point, lunacy. But with that said, it's a cool premise and they do some cool stuff with it. Could they have done more with it? Yes. I mean, imagine this, a scenario. Captain Marvel is the most powerful superhero in the MCU. Imagine a situation where she suddenly can't use her powers or else she'll trade places again. So she has to figure out a cool way to get out of a situation without her powers. They never take the opportunity. They never even do that, It's like you have this gimmick. Do everything you can with this gimmick. It's fun. It's interesting. The movie is incredibly short. This is the shortest MCU movie ever. What I say, does it feel particularly like swift and quick? No, it actually feels pretty normal. Like, it doesn't feel like that much crazier, but it also goes to show that most of these fucking movies don't need to be over 2 hours. They don't need to be that long. They're just deciding to for some reason. They just cram with all this extra shit in there that doesn't need to be there. With that said, there are some cool set pieces as well. They go to a planet where everyone's singing. Obviously, there's the whole setup with Goose and how the cat eats people and shit. A lot of people don't like these segments. A lot of people think these are too outlandish. I enjoy them. I genuinely do. I think, what is it? These are cool things. You know, you're having like these space worlds and stuff. Have them go to interesting, cool planets. You know, I think people are a little too obsessed with like realism. I think it's fun that this movie is so not concerned with that we can go to a planet where everyone is singing, that like we can have like a set piece where everyone needs to be eaten by cats in order to survive. It's interesting, it's fun, it's cool. This movie isn't going for any going for any higher themes. Again, the villain has some motivation about some blah blah blah, but ultimately this movie isn't really that deep at all. It's meant to be a fun action blockbuster. I think it succeeds in that. Again, I didn't hate it. People really hate it, so I don't know. Take my words with a grain of salt. And I don't blindly like these movies. I fucking hated The Flash, but I mean, Jesus, compared to The Flash, this is a fucking 10 out of 10 right here. But no, it's not a 10 out of 10. I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. Should I talk about some spoilers? No, the spoilers don't really. I don't really care. Like, was it nothing that significant in terms of the plot? Yeah, there's some cameos and shit, but you know, it's like, when is there not? This movie's gonna bomb. This movie's gonna be a huge turning point for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Things are gonna go fucking bananas from here. There's only one movie coming out next year, and it's not even really an MCU movie. And then things are gonna go fucking bananas. I don't know. Are they even gonna still have a Kang Dynasty? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. I'm also... These movies can end, you know? I don't need these movies going on forever. People are saying, oh, they're going downhill, we need to fix it, we need to fix it. Why not? Why fix it? Let them die. Let people lose interest in them and just throw this universe away. Stop making these fucking movies. Let Kevin Feige retire on an island somewhere. And let fucking original movies come back. Let original films take center stage again instead of these fucking movies. That's my 2 cents on it. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.